The reason why we would want to learn about self-recognition is because it helps us identify who we actually are. It helps to make sense of our accomplishments. It helps to identify our particular mannerisms. And it helps to make sense of our own psychology so that we can lead ourselves towards a destiny that is fulfilling, one that speaks to the soul of who we are. So, specifically, the reason why you would want to learn about self-recognition and engage in the act of self-recognition is that it helps you live a more fulfilling life. Now, how can we begin that journey? Well, we can begin it by recognizing your good qualities. Now, recognizing your good qualities means your virtues, means your moral compass, the fact that you have integrity in your dynamics, the fact that you make good decisions, the fact that you're good with people, the fact that you're intelligent, you're perceptive, you make wise decisions, your emotional intelligence, your reservoir of wisdom, your pool of knowledge. All of these different areas helps to bring to light the nature of your identity. Now, there is the other factor, which is reveling in these achievements. That is to say, when you undergo an experience which is to some degree transformative, which is a defining milestone in your life, such as graduating college, or doing well on an exam, going to the gym consecutively for several months. Any slight thing adds to that spirit of who you are. But the important thing is that we take mental notes when we do these things so that we can store it in our mind. So in future time, when we're looking back into the past and we're thinking about, who am I? What are the things that I've done? You can easily summon to mind all of those things. Because not only have you recognized them, that is, identified them, but you've also began to revel in them. Another way of saying this is that when you have an achievement, something that you feel really good about, that you revel in it. You soak in all the goodness that it has to offer. And you seek to understand why what you did is good and what it means in the sense of adding value to your life. Now, we also need to reflect upon these achievements and these virtuous qualities. It's not something that can just be elucidated in the immediacy of an instant. It's not just thinking about it in the snap of a finger. It's thinking about it in the long term. Now, why am I bringing this forth? It's because there is a very, very important distinction between emotional and intellectual processing. When you emotionally process something, it takes much longer. Here's an example. When you're in a classroom and the teacher is telling you about a particular concept or a framework of thought, you may intellectually be able to grasp what the teacher is saying in the immediacy of the moment. However, with our more intimate matters, such as dealing with family, friendships, and examining the emotional aspects of our relationships, even our relationship with ourselves, that can take much longer. So the key element here is that we give ourselves time to self-reflect. Personally, I love taking an Epsom salt bath. I light the candles, I have this really nice Buddha head, and spend 30-40 minutes just thinking about my day. I might think about certain things that I felt I did well. I might think about certain things that I could improve on. Now, when you're self-reflecting, it shouldn't be the type of time where it's like you're thinking about every single bad thing you've done. You should be trying to focus on the good things But that's not also to say that you won't also think about the bad things so that you can improve the efficiency of your life. So again, the key concept here is that there is a difference in the speed at which we process things emotionally and intellectually. Intellectually, we process things much quicker than we do emotionally. Here's a concrete example. You get into a relationship with someone, you've been dating them for 5 years. And let's say you guys, it ends up not working out. And so that means it's time to reassess your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your friends, and just re-examine all of the knowledge that you have up until that time about that person and about yourself, about how that person has affected you on a deep level. Upon the realization of examining these different things, you might come into a new revelation about your next relationship, about the type of person that you feel will be most compatible with the spirit of who you are. Now the thing is, if you don't take the time to self-reflect and to think about the individual nuances of that relationship that you had with that person, and you immediately jump into another relationship where you have all this emotional data and potentially intellectual data that hasn't been processed. You can think about it, information goes into the brain, information goes out. Now if you have so much information coming into the brain, but you don't have enough time to process it, well, you're not going to be able to extrapolate all the wisdom that it has to improve your life. So that's the distinction here, is between these two worlds, emotion and intellect, and being able to realize that they don't process information at the same speed, and why we have to give ourselves the time to make sense of what's going on. Now going back to this example of dating someone for 5 years, that's a lot of data going into the mind. If you immediately jump into another relationship and you haven't processed the previous one, you may end up getting into the exact type of relationship with a person of the exact same nature. So, understanding this distinction is something that helps to improve the quality of our lives and the quality of our relationships. I do want to give you one homework assignment as a takeaway. In particular, I want you to identify at least one achievement, something that you feel good about. And I want you to think about why you should feel good about it. In what way does it add value to your life? Now, just to sum it all up, the importance of learning about self-recognition and engaging in the act of self-recognition is the fact that it helps us identify our identity. It helps us improve the quality of our lives, and it helps us to just sort through all the data. And upon this, it allows us to feel good on a daily basis about what we're doing, because we know why what we're doing is the right thing to do.